In an age-long past, when divine beings were said to walk the earth in mortal guise, a mysterious traveler found himself weary as dusk settled over the countryside. The road ahead stretched into darkness, and his steps grew heavy. Before him stood two houses, stark in their contrast. On one side of the road was a grand, imposing mansion owned by a wealthy man named Bartholomew. Opposite it was a small, humble cottage, the home of a poor but kind-hearted man named Jacob. The traveler thought to himself, "Surely the owner of that great house will not be burdened by one guest. I shall seek shelter there." He approached the mansion and knocked on the ornate door. A moment later, a window slid open and Bartholomew peered out, his face etched with suspicion. "What do you want?" he demanded. "I only ask for a place to rest for the night," the traveler replied calmly. Bartholomew surveyed the traveler from head to toe. Seeing the simple, dust-covered clothes and the lack of any finery, he scoffed. The man clearly had no money. "No, I can't take you in," Bartholomew said dismissively. "My rooms are filled with valuable goods and supplies. If I opened my door to every stranger who knocked, I'd soon be a beggar myself. Find lodging somewhere else." With that, he slammed the window shut, leaving the traveler alone in the growing chill. Undeterred, the traveler turned his back on the mansion and crossed the road to the small cottage. He knocked gently on the simple wooden door. It opened almost immediately, and Jacob greeted him with a warm smile. "Please come in," the poor man said, stepping aside. "The night is falling, and it's no time to be on the road. Rest with us." The traveler felt a sense of peace as he entered. Jacob's wife, Mary, greeted him with a kind handshake. "Welcome, welcome," she said. "Make yourself at home. We don't have much, but what we have, we share with an open heart." Mary quickly set about preparing a simple meal. She placed potatoes on the fire to roast and milked their only goat to provide a bit of fresh milk. When the small table was set, the traveler sat down with the couple. He found the simple food more satisfying than any feast, for it was served with genuine happiness and warmth. After supper, as bedtime approached, Mary quietly spoke to her husband. "My dear," she whispered, "let us sleep on the straw tonight. We can give our bed to the traveler. He has walked all day and must be exhausted." "That is a wonderful idea," Jacob replied without hesitation. He went to the traveler and made the offer. "Friend, if you would do us the honor, please take our bed for the night to properly rest your weary body." The traveler was moved by their generosity and initially refused, not wanting to impose. But Jacob and Mary insisted so warmly that he finally accepted. He rested deeply in their bed while the kind couple slept soundly on a bed of straw on the floor. The next morning, they rose before dawn to prepare a small breakfast for their guest. As the first rays of sun streamed through the window, the traveler prepared to continue his journey. Standing at the doorway, he turned to the couple. "Because you have been so compassionate and good," he said, his voice resonating with a gentle power, "you may make 3 wishes, and I will grant them." Jacob was humbled. "What more could we wish for?" he said. "First, we wish for eternal happiness. Second, that we may both remain healthy and have our daily bread for as long as we live. As for a third wish, I cannot think of anything else we need." The traveler smiled. "Would you wish for a new house in place of this old one?" "Oh, yes," Jacob exclaimed, his eyes widening. "If that is possible, we would be overjoyed." The traveler fulfilled his promise. In an instant, the old cottage was transformed into a beautiful, sturdy new house. He gave them his blessing one last time and then continued on his way. Later that morning, Bartholomew the rich man awoke. He stretched, leaned out of his window, and froze. Where the miserable little hut had stood, there was now a pristine new house with a red-tiled roof and bright, clean windows. He was utterly shocked. "Wife," he yelled, "come here. What happened across the street? Last night it was a hovel, and now it's a fine home. Go and find out how this happened." His wife hurried over and questioned Jacob, who happily recounted the story of the traveler and the 3 wishes he had granted: eternal happiness, health and daily bread, and the beautiful new house. The rich man's wife ran back breathless and told her husband everything. "I could tear myself apart," Bartholomew roared, "if only I had known. That traveler came to our door first, and I sent him away." "Quickly," his wife urged, "get on your horse. You might still catch him. You must ask for 3 wishes for yourself." Bartholomew needed no further convincing. He galloped his horse, Lisa, down the road and soon caught up with the traveler. He adopted a smooth, pleasant tone, begging the traveler not to be offended. "I was merely looking for the key to the front door," he lied, "and you had vanished before I could find it. If you ever pass this way again, you must stay with me." "If I ever return, I will," the traveler replied evenly. "May I also ask for 3 wishes, just like my neighbor?" Bartholomew asked, unable to hide his eagerness. "You may," said the traveler, "but it will not be to your benefit. You would be wise not to wish at all." Bartholomew, however, was certain he could wish for things that would only increase his happiness. "Ride home," the traveler instructed. "The next 3 wishes you form in your heart shall be granted." The rich man, overjoyed, turned his horse for home, his mind racing with possibilities. As he rode, he let the reins go slack, lost in thought. The horse, feeling the loose grip, began to prance and sidestep, disrupting his concentration. He patted its neck, saying, "Gently, Lisa," but the horse only became more spirited. Finally, his patience snapped. "I wish your neck was broken," he screamed in a fit of rage. The words had barely left his mouth when the horse collapsed beneath him, falling dead to the ground. His first wish had been fulfilled. Being a miser, Bartholomew couldn't bear to leave the expensive leather saddle and harness behind. He heaved it onto his back and began the long walk home on foot. "I still have 2 wishes left," he muttered, trying to console himself. The midday sun beat down, and the heavy saddle dug into his back. He grew hot and irritable. "What should I wish for?" he thought. "If I wish for all the treasures in the world, I'll only think of something else I missed later on. I need to make a wish so perfect that there's nothing left to desire." His mind wandered, and he thought of his wife, sitting at home in their cool, comfortable mansion, enjoying her day. A wave of bitter resentment washed over him. Without thinking, he grumbled, "I wish she were sitting here on this saddle instead of me having to haul it on my back." In that instant, the saddle vanished from his shoulders. His second wish was fulfilled. A sudden, terrible warmth spread through him, the heat of pure panic. He broke into a run, desperate to get home and use his last, precious wish for something truly magnificent. He burst through the parlor door and stopped dead. There, in the middle of the room, was his wife, sitting helplessly atop the saddle, crying and complaining that she couldn't get off. "Be quiet," he yelled. "I'll wish for all the riches on earth for us. Just stay right there." She called him a fool. "What good are all the riches on earth if I am stuck on this saddle for eternity?" she shrieked. "You wished me onto it, so you have to get me off." He argued, but it was no use. Whether he wanted to or not, he was forced to use his third and final wish to free his wife from the saddle, and instantly she was able to stand up. In the end, he gained nothing from his chase but frustration, trouble, a bitter argument, and the loss of his fine horse. But across the road, the poor, kind couple lived out their days in peace, health, and happiness, content until their blessed end.